So what made you become a teacher?
That started back really in high school for me. I had specifically one art teacher, Bill Stevens, at Webster High School, about 5 hours northwest of here. And he was my art teacher for my high school, a lot of my high school classes, and also for my AP, my AP art class. And just the way that he was teaching, the way that he was able to really reach students and help them make their work so much better. The level of care that he gave them in order to help them kind of reach their potential made me realize that, obviously I was interested in art, but that specifically teaching in art might have a future path for me. And then as I continued on, it became more clear that was the right direction for me.
So how many years have you been teaching here, and which one has to be your favorite?
The favorite is a little trickier. This is my 19th year. Could go on to my 20th year next year, which is significant. Actually been teaching here longer than the age of most of the students here, which is kind of interesting. Favorite year, I'd say the first couple of years, it's exciting, but you're also trying to figure out how to navigate the school system, the students, the workload, the grading, the unexpected things that come up in just the nature of being a teacher. So I wouldn't say the first couple of years were my favorite. They were probably the most exciting. I would say once you get into maybe year 6, you're still pretty fresh at it. You're still coming up with a lot of new ideas, but you've gotten a little better handle on how to manage everything. And then I would say the pandemic was probably the most challenging. That kind of like 2-year period was probably the most challenging with the remote learning and the hybrid model, and just students. It was a challenge for them and for the teachers to be able to engage the learning process. And I think this year we're still kind of coming off of that. So I'm hopeful next year kind of get back to a little bit more of a normal expectations. Come out of the dustroom door here.
So what classes do you teach?
Well, we're right now at a darkroom door. We have an old room in the back here. One of the classes I teach is a Photo 1, Photo 2, and I also have an independent study in Photo 3 for those students that want to kind of advance their portfolio. Maybe they're actually going to college to pursue photo. In Photo, we have both the digital lab, digital SLRs, but we also have like pinhole cameras, and we do some traditional like chemical-based wet darkroom work, this is basically the door that's preventing the light from spilling onto a photosensitive paper in the darkroom. I also teach an APR course, so getting kids ready to build a portfolio for college, hopefully maybe even getting college credit. I also have prereqs of those, a drawing and painting 1 and 2, and a studio art, which is sort of just an intro class that leads up to a lot of the other classes that we teach at the high school. Just giving me foundational skills. Later.
So what are some plans for the future?
Right. That's a trickier one. I don't know exactly what the future holds for us here, but the one thing that we try to do, especially in the art wing, is continue to look for opportunities for kids to show their work, to work with new artists, to work with new organizations. Since I've been here, we have been working with the Beacon, and now actually have a class where it's specifically about working with other artists and inspired by like the Diaz collection and about some of the processes they work with. So that's something that like over the course of when this building was created, we've started to kind of work with that relationship. We also have relationships with, some galleries on Main Street that we've been able to show the students work with. And in the past 4 or 5 years, we've started to do the scholastic competition, and that's what we're seeing up here, where the students don't have to pay any money to submit, that the school takes care of that, and we get a collection of some of the strongest work, and we it basically is a competition where locally and nationally, their work is kind of looked at, and they can win a gold and a silver. And for those students that have a whole portfolio of work, they have the potential of actually getting some scholarship money. That is very challenging for that one, though. They have to kind of make it to the top to get that. So that's what you're seeing here. From this year, these are all slides of students' work from the scholastic competition.
So I do have to say, what happened to this wall behind you?
It does kind of read like a graffiti wall, but it was done with permission. So as you can kind of see the negative space inside these like almost kind of look like stenciled edges here. Each one of those represents where a larger painting got started, or in some cases maybe even finished. So when we're working on large canvas, I have big rolls of it. It gets kind of expensive to stretch it on big stretcher bars. It's also harder to bring back and forth as opposed to like rolling it up. So a lot of times I have my students, when they're working bigger, as big as this piece right here. You can see one that happened all the way over here. I have them tack it to the wall, and then they have a surface that has some rigidity. They don't have to be working on the floor. A lot of these kind of like drips like this are where they've created a thinned out, kind of washed out base tone, where they've thinned out the paint, sometimes with a different medium or water, and they're just they have their pencil drawing on it already, and they want to start with a kind of a neutral to warm or cool tone to build the rest of their painting off, as opposed to building off of just the pure white of the canvas. And so we have one, we have two, we have three, seeing a fourth one here, at least four in here, maybe even a fifth artwork that through this year has been painted. Normally at the end of the year, the janitors paint over this area, then we start afresh the following year. So it's basically just like a studio space for my advanced level kids to work in.
Well, Mr. Lyon, it's been great having you with us.
Thanks for the interview, Vinny.